Hey, you guys. Good morning. One second. I was having issues getting logged in, so now I have a bunch of people messaging me with the link to get in. So just bear with me 1 second. There you go. Sorry, you guys. 1 second here. Okay. We are here. We are back. Thanks for your patience while I got that taken care of. How's everybody doing today? Ooh, Crystal's at a fancy lodge. Where were Crystal's at? I want to be right there.
Yeah.
Be there.
In my imagination, because it's AI. So I love welcome to my world.
The other day, I asked AI to make me a luxury yacht background. And I was like, yeah.
Yes.
I'll take it. Okay. So we're starting to get people in here. Thank you all for your patience. I'm going to just kind of give me just a second here. Andy is getting it shared. Did you get this shared in the event, Andy? The link?
Yep.
Cool. Thank you. Okay. All right, everybody. So you want to know about the #1 conversion killer. Yeah? Y'all have problems converting leads? I shouldn't say do you have problems. Do you want to convert more leads? Because everyone is good at it, but everyone also has problems. Like, I'm just be real. We all struggle with it. And some of us are also really good at it. So none of us, I don't know anyone who ever says they have 100% conversion rate. Like, so that means that everybody can obviously learn when it comes to conversion, right? Okay. So before I get started, there is a couple of things I want to announce. How many of you are going to the Commit or Quit event, the 4th quarter blitz on Tuesday? Okay, if you're not, I need you to register, please. It is free and you should. It is not my event. It is Wendy Goss's event. But I'm going to tell you, I'm putting the link in the chat for you. It's going to be amazing. So she has put together 25 people to just come and give their tips to help you get on the right start for Q4. So whenever you go to an event like this, I just want you to remember, don't try to do everything. Because you're going to have 20 people who are going to come and teach you 20 different tips. I'm going to talk about storytelling. Okay. But, don't try to do everything. Just pick the one thing that you're going to do and then just go after it. Find the expert who's going to talk about it and then just follow them and do everything they tell you to do. There you go. Super easy. Okay. So hopefully you can get a chance to register if you have not already. I think it's 10, I don't know what time it is on Tuesday, 9 to 1 or something at that Pacific time. I don't know. It's on the registration. So, and the other cool thing about something like this is you don't have to be there the whole time. And because people are only talking for 12 to 15 minutes, you're going to get a replay. And, you can go back and reference it later. Okay. Back to the topic at hand. #1 conversion killer. Okay. So I have spoken about this a few times before. And the thing is, this is what I think is the #1 conversion killer. In my personal opinion, there's kind of 3 ways you could look at it. Chasing any lead instead of chasing the right lead. So what happens is a lot of us will buy leads. We'll go to the Big Z. We'll go to realtor.com. We'll go to wherever, right? And we'll just buy a bunch of leads. And we spend our time, all of our money, maybe not our time, but we spend our money on these leads. And then the very first thing that's going to happen is we have to hurry because we spent so much money on them. And then we got to call them, or you got to hire an ISA to call them, or you got to just do a bunch of stuff to try to call them, right? So what you're doing is you're spending time chasing just every lead that comes in versus actually taking the time to qualify and find the right lead. Okay. Who has an idea of how you find the right lead? Anybody? Nobody. Y'all are here. I know Anna. I know Anna for a fact knows what I'm going to say. 100% fact. I know Anna knows what I'm going to say. Joy, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say, attraction was my guess.
Brittany's going to say attraction. Okay. Joy?
I was going to say call your database. And I apologize. I didn't realize I wasn't muted before my dog was barking. So
whatever. Anna?
The question was, who is the right lead?
Yeah.
Your ideal client.
Yeah. Anna knows for a fact. Anna knows for a fact what I was going to say. And yes, it is 100% knowing who exactly your ideal client is. Now, you guys, I've heard about a lot of people talking about ideal client. I'm going to give you my philosophy on your ideal client. Your ideal client is more than just knowing what kind of coffee they drink. It's more than just knowing, that they want a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. Your ideal client is someone that you connect with on an emotional level. So if you aren't taking the time to get to know your clients on an emotional level or get to know your avatar on an emotional level, you are going to end up not converting, because what you're doing is you're becoming a commodity. Because every single one of us knows how to pick up the phone and ask somebody how many bedrooms and bathrooms they're looking for. Is that true? Okay. How many of us know how to actually connect with someone on a deep emotional level? We do if we're married or we have friends. But when it comes to a cold person who doesn't know who you are, how do you do that? Because it's kind of weird, right? All of a sudden, I don't know, I kind of grew up in this whole thing of where it's don't get too personal, don't be nosy, don't ask personal questions. And so you kind of get that stuck in your head, right? Does anyone else have that thought pattern? Okay. So I'm not the only one. Don't ask the personal questions because you just don't be nosy. They'll tell you what they want to tell you. Okay, newsflash, people don't tell you what they want to tell you. People tell you what you ask them to tell you. People don't just volunteer information. So when someone is connecting with you on emotional level, you're going to have much more trust in that person. So the reason you're not converting leads is because they don't trust you. But they don't trust you because you're not letting them get to know you. And if they don't get to know you, they can't even decide whether or not they like you. So the reason you're not converting leads is because they don't know you, they don't like you, and therefore they don't trust you. So in order to get people to trust you, you have to get them to like you, and you have to get them to know you. How do we get people to know who we are? Need me to tell you?
Video, phone calls, letting them in and telling them, right? They're not going to just know you out of space. So you have to show them, correct?
Yeah, Crystal's, we're on the right track. Yes, 100%. Carol said it in the chat. Tell your story. Tell your story. The more you tell your story about who you are and why you do what you do, the more people are going to decide if they want to get to know you even more. And you're going to turn a ton of people off the more stories you tell. I'm going to tell you right now. You're going to turn a ton of people off, and that is okay. You know why? Because what happens when you try to help everybody, you start to run around in circles, having really no idea. Usually what happens when I talk to real estate agents who try to talk to everybody, they don't know where their money's going. So there's a lot of things that happen, right? They don't know where their money's going. They don't know where their time's going. They don't have any energy. They don't really love the business because they're not spending time and letting people know who we are. So you've got to be really, really good about telling your own story. And then on top of that, you have to be an expert at telling your client's story. So the reason I said Anna, I'm calling you out. Sorry, Anna. It is what it is. The reason I knew Anna would know exactly what I'm talking about is because she and I are working this on a really, really deep level right now. And she can probably attest to that. So I ask you to tell me about your favorite client. What are you going to tell me? Someone tell me, who's your favorite client? Just tell me tell me about your favorite client. Tell me the story of your favorite client. Anybody? Ashley said 55 plus. Okay.
Oh, I thought you would have asked to talk. Sorry.
Go ahead, Kim.
You want to tell those what they want. They know what they want. They're very direct. They're very specific. And it may take time to find what they want, but they know what they want. They're decisive.
Okay. Anyone else want to tell me the story of your client? Jackie?
So back in the REO days, well, I guess we were kind of out of it, but there were still a few REOs here and there. I had someone contact me, buy a house. They started in one town. Then they didn't want REOs. Then they went to another town. And then they found or decided that they were going to move quite a distance away, like an hour and a half away. And I really had bonded with these people and I helped them find a house. And that is not something I would typically do. And I'm still, that's been, quite a while ago, maybe 10 years ago. And I'm still very in touch with them, very much in touch with them.
I like it. Jackie told me a story. I wanted to hear it. No offense to the other story, to the other perfect clients, but 55 plus clients. I mean, a lot of us help 55 plus clients. What is it about your client? Why do you connect with them? What is that emotional? What is that emotional connection? We are human beings. This is a relationship business. I am not going to be that person who's going to help you to be a transactional real estate agent. So if that's what you want, I'm not the right person for you. So there you go. I just told my audience who you are not. Okay. If you want transactional business, I can't help you with that. I mean, I can do anything I want, but I don't want to. What I want to do is help you be a relationship-based business. And the way that you connect with people is on an emotional level. And that starts with telling your own story and then telling your client's story. How many of you are really comfortable with telling your own story? Lisa raised her hand. I love it. Joy shook her head. Okay. Not a lot of people are comfortable telling your own story. You know how I know? Because I follow most of you on social media and I don't know anything about you. That's how I know. I know some of you on a personal level too, so I know a little bit more about you. But those of you who I know, I've never met Lisa. I know a lot more about Lisa because she's right. She is comfortable telling her story. I see it. And probably part of the reason that most of you are here is because you see my content and you're like, I learned a little bit more. Yeah, sometimes it's really long. You don't want to read the whole thing. So you just scroll and find the one thing that sticks out to you. That's totally okay. That's the power in storytelling. You don't have to read the whole book. You don't have to read cover to cover. You can pick out the one piece in the middle that's like, yeah, I love that. And you can connect with that one piece. And that's why it's so important to tell your story and do it on a consistent basis. Because I'm actually going to give you some tips rather than just telling you this is why you have to do it. Okay. I'm going to give you some tips on telling your story. And then I'm going to give you one action that I want you to take today to actually go out and learn exactly who your ideal client is. Because if you skip or try to cheat yourself on understanding your ideal client is, Anna can probably 100% agree with this because I pushed back on her a bit. If you try to cheat this part of understanding your ideal client, you are cheating yourself. Understanding your ideal client is the most important thing that you can do for your business. Okay, so let me tell you, first of all, 3 tips. I'll give you 3 tips to telling your own story. Okay? Your life story, the entire thing is important. But when you're going out to start picking and choosing stories to tell, you don't have to tell your whole life story in one fell swoop. Debbie had a great question right now. We all have a story, but where do we start? Before real estate or why we got into real estate? You know what? I tell so many different versions of my story. Because where I was before real estate explains who I am as a real estate agent. So I hope that helps a little bit, Debbie. I tell stories about filing bankruptcy, eviction, repossession. I tell stories about that. A lot of people are really uncomfortable talking about money. Really, especially uncomfortable talking about money stories. Okay? But I talk about it, you know why? Because I know that I am not the only person out there who has had money problems in her past. And it also shows to people I am a very resilient person. I learn from my mistakes. I am a human being. I learn from my mistakes and I move on. And yes, it also shows buyers. Guess what, buyers? I filed bankruptcy. I had a car repossession and I had an eviction and I bought a house. And buying a house changed my entire life. because now I've had 3 houses and investments. See what I'm saying? So to answer your question, Debbie, that has like my story of all the other stuff. That was 20 years before I got into real estate, but it has a huge impact on who I am today. I tell a lot of stories about bodybuilding and fitness because the reality is that although I have never struggled with having to lose weight, I have struggled with having to fight genetics and not gaining weight. Because in my family, we have heart disease, we have obesity, we have high blood pressure, all those things. So I learned at a very young age what not to do. And the reason I tell those stories is because it shows people, guess what? Does it surprise anybody that I'm a planner? Does it surprise anybody? No. That's where it stems from. Does it surprise anybody that I look ahead to the future and that I always have a strategy? So those stories are really important. So the tip to tell you is allow yourself time to think. Allow yourself time to think about what your story is and what it actually means. Because everything that you have accomplished in your life or overcome, adversity, that's going to help you in connecting with your target client on a much deeper level. I have used this story. I love this story. This is a totally real estate related story. And this has helped me convert so many buyers who were on the fence. I was approved after I'd filed bankruptcy. I was approved to buy my first house in 2012. And my balance or my limit at the time was $250,000. Okay. $250,000 in Seattle in 2012 was actually, pretty decent amount. Interest rates was something like 7.25% or something. I have no idea what it was back then. Okay. If you know this area at all, there's a couple of you in my market, but I'm going to tell you, I live in kind of like the south end of Seattle. I was looking in this community that is kind of east side of Seattle, and it's called Snoqualmie Ridge. And I was looking to buy in this community because this community was just up and coming. They were just starting to develop this area. And at $250,000, I could have bought an awesome place because it hadn't yet been developed. I didn't. I chose to buy somewhere else. But that $250,000, because I chose to wait, I can no longer buy in that area because now the average price in that area is $1.9 million. Yeah, look at Anna. Anna's like, okay. That is why you have to tell stories. Because you know what that did? Anna's reaction that she just had, if you saw it, I've had so many buyers be like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, no. Do you want that to happen to you? And they're like, no. Okay. So I don't care if more homes are going up, down, whatever. 2012 was how many years ago? Was that 12 years ago? Was that 12 years ago? No. Is that 12 years ago? Thank you. Good.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for all you people who are good at math, because I'm like, it was 12 years ago. That's not that long ago. And look at the inflation over 12 years. Granted, we had a little bit of a weird shift in the market, in 2020 to 2022. But still, that's a huge amount of inflation over 12 years. So what if you just keep waiting? And now I'm like, okay, well, I'm never going to buy there. I don't want to spend that much. So there you go. Power of a story. Okay. That stories are going to help you convert. The other thing that I want to tell you, or the other tip I want to give you with telling your own personal stories is this. I said it a second ago, but you're going to turn a lot of people off by telling your stories. And guess what? More power to you. Good. Because those people who are taking up your Facebook feed, doing all the things, taking up all your time, those people who are turned off by your story are not the people you should be spending time on. Those are the time sucks. Those are the people that are going to just sit there and waste your time and kill your conversion. So I shared this yesterday. Like, I'm sharing some stories right now, and I even have this. I have this own limiting belief. We all have it. Okay. Like, why do I want to share this story? Like, these people don't want to hear about this. No one wants to hear about this, but I still do it. Like, I shared the story the other day about And by the way, now that I've been telling stories for so long, I share the same stories over and over and over again. You guys just see them with a different image and a little bit of different words, and you learn something new every day. Okay, just so you know, like just get really comfortable telling 5 or 6 stories and use them all for different things. There's a really good book called The Story Selling Method. If you want to learn how to be a better storyteller, The Story Selling Method. It's a great book, and you should read it. You're going to learn all you really need is 6 stories. That's all you need. I can convince you that you are my person or not my person, or help you make a decision based off of 6 stories. That's it. Not that hard. Okay, so that's it. Then, now, if you want to get to know your ideal client, I'm going to give you a task right now. I know some of you have done this before because I have talked about this before, so this is not new. First thing I want you to do is I want you to grab a piece of paper and I want you to write the name of your 15 favorite clients. And these are people, you don't need to share them with me. I don't want to know their names. But I want people that you, like, if you only worked with these people for the rest of your life, it would not matter what kind of day you were having. It would not matter what kind of day they were having. It would be amazing. Your business would be amazing. Your life would be amazing, because these are the people that bring you joy. Real estate is about joy. Who wants a joyful career? I really hope, because I can only see a handful of you on screen. Thank you. I see. Thank you. Those of you that I can see, I love it. Thank you. You want a joyful career? You got to fill your pipeline. You got to fill your business with people who bring you joy. Marie Kondo was onto something. Does this person spark joy? No, I actually literally did that. I read that book. What is it? The magic of tidying up, or whatever it's called. I don't organize like that. I think it's kind of not my thing, but I did it with people. I went to my database and I was like, does this person spark joy? And I was like, oh God, if I get a physical feeling, like, I don't want to reach out to this person again. Okay. Ugh. We all know what we're talking about. We've all had some of those people. Like, no, I'm not going to ask them for a review. I'm not going to ask them for referrals. I'm just, okay. Just wipe them out. And don't think about those people when you're learning to tell stories. And don't think about those people when you're writing down your top 15 people that you want to work with for the rest of your life. Because what's going to happen after you write down the top 15 people is you're going to pick out the top 5, and then you're actually going to pick up the phone and call them. Oh, so weird. I got to call somebody. Okay. You're going to say, you know what, Ashley, working with you made me so happy. I loved how we got along. I loved how the whole thing went for you. I just wanted to say thank you. That's all you need to do. A heartfelt thank you. Then, after you have those conversations, you say thank you. I want you to actually ask them a couple of questions. I want you to get to the emotion. The emotion behind why were they moving in the first place? I want you to get to the emotion. Ask the feeling questions. How did it make you feel when you got in your new house? How did it make you feel before you sold your house? Get to the feeling. Because what's going to happen is when you connect with the feeling, then all of a sudden, you're going to connect their feelings and your feelings, and we have a match. We have chemistry. Okay? Then, all of a sudden, telling your stories online and throughout your follow-up campaigns becomes a lot easier because you know exactly who you're talking to. Linda.
When you say tell your story, are you saying like in video, or are we telling a story when we meet with people? So is it video so they kind of get to know us and then they want to talk to us about listing, or are you having these conversations when you're in front of them?
So you're going to use, like, if you understand how to tell stories and can learn your stories, you're going to use them in every aspect of your life. You can tell stories on video. You can tell stories on social media with a picture and a text. You can tell stories when you're face-to-face in person, telling someone why they should list with you. You can tell stories you can tell stories when you're on the phone talking to somebody and they're on the fence about buying. But the very first thing that you have to learn is you've got to really get in connection with the emotional piece, because buying and selling a home, let me take that back. Buying a home is more of an emotional thing than transactional for most people, because people can rent. They can rent. So why do they need to buy? There's an emotional connection there. People want to buy because of it's a feeling. If I don't do this, I'm not going to have security in my life. If I don't do this, I'm not going to accomplish a goal that I always wanted to accomplish. Right? So you got to connect with the emotion. So Linda, I can't really dig into that much more than that right now. But I hope that helps a little bit. You got to find different stories and then use them throughout different pieces. So I tell stories all the time. Ask anybody who coaches with me. Hey, let me tell you a story. Literally, let me tell you a story.
Okay. I see where you're going at. Well, I kind of thought you were talking about, like, kind of in videos, different situations. You're on YouTube and that maybe you're telling a story, and then you might tell a different story when you're in front of somebody that, like, that. So you probably don't bring that up every time, but maybe somebody that you know that might make them get off the fence and move.
Yep.
I get it.
Yep. And there's so many different ways to tell stories. And the good news is, now I'm going to promote something, my own event. We promoted Wendy's at the beginning. Now I'm going to promote my own. September 25th from 10 to 1 Pacific time, I am hosting a free masterclass. If you have not registered, where is Andy? Is she here? She's going to plug the link in the chat right now. You should register. It is free. And I'm going to dive deep into storytelling, exactly how to grab your stories and exactly how to use them. Because the reality is, there's so much more than just telling a story in person, telling a story on video, telling a story on social media. Like, you tell your stories right, it's not only going to help you convert people, but it's also going to help you attract the right people, and it's going to help you retain. Real estate is mostly real estate is about multiplying your business. You got to multiply. That's the only way you grow, right? You don't grow by not doing anything different. You don't grow by not multiplying. Basically, it's really the definition of multiplying. And you multiply by telling stories. So if you haven't registered, please do. Andy just put the link in the chat. It is a free masterclass. There will be no replay unless you invite somebody and they also register and list your name. Then you'll get a replay. That's the only way you're getting the replay. So you must be there 10 to 1 Pacific time. If you invite somebody, that's the easiest way to get a replay. I will make sure that you get a replay. Make sure your team registers. Kim, she's out of town. Make sure your team registers. Make sure you register and then have your team register, and they've got to list you as a person that sent them. Okay. And Joy just put something in there real good, realizing I use stories all the time. I have a hard time seeing that as a fodder for social media. That's exactly what it's all about. That's exactly what I'm going to teach you. It's called Lead Conversion Intensive. I'm going to show you how to build a system that includes storytelling. I'm going to show you how to build a system that ensures that you take your clients from the discovery phase all the way to the multiply phase seamlessly. It's exactly what I do in my business, and I'm going to show you it's a really simple way to do it. Okay. I hope to see you all there, and I'll see you next week.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.